The best of the Morning X. 99X.
Hey, this is the Morning X. One of our favorite guests. Whenever he comes into town, we drag him in here. We do a little segment called Ask a Record Rep. Our friend Lee Leipzner with Columbia Records. What's the official title now? Like Senior VP, blah, 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 blah?
Oh, I hate when you do that.
Come on.
Do I hate that. Senior Vice President of Promotion.
Okay.
Can I ask you a
that
question?
sounded good. That sounded good.
About that.
Hey,
Come
where's
on.
Barnes, by the way?
Barnes is on vacation today.
Oh, it's going to be a good morning.
I know.
It's going to be an easy morning now.
I know.
So.
Let's take some calls for Lee Leipzner.
Ask a record rep, 99X.
Kevin.
Hello, yes.
Hi.
Hi,
Question.
Kevin.
Hey, my name's Kevin. I'm with the band called Round American Tourist, and just had a
Oh,
question.
hey, I know you guys.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Why did Jimmy, all your friends always call us. This is great.
No, I
love
mean,
it.
I've seen these guys play. They're very good.
Yeah, you've seen us at a couple of Starbucks gigs
they were
several
good.
years ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, my question was, we've been in contact with several entertainment lawyers in town to come and see us play and get possible representation. Mm-hmm. And as of yet, we can't really get any of them to show up at our gigs. I don't know if we're playing too late or what the deal is. They seem to be sort of interested in our disc and say the tunes are really good, but any advice you could give on how we can get some of these entertainment lawyers to actually come to the show?
Maybe get some new entertainment lawyers. No, I think what you have to do is maybe even start on the local level instead of worrying about like all the people from New York or LA coming in. There's a big music scene here, and there's a lot of every record company has a representative here in Atlanta. So maybe start more on the smaller scale, because those people, if someone from my company down here said, "Hey, you got to check out this band. Why don't you come in?" I'll be the first one to fly in. So maybe again, start more on the local level. Every label has a branch here in Atlanta. You might want to start with them as well. I think maybe they're trying to go too far. They just started on the more of the local, avenue, and then build your way up. But I tell you, I always encourage our locals around the country to always check out new bands, and they get finder's fees, and it's a good part in what they do. I mean, it should be more than just going out and promoting records. It should always be about finding talent all the time.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Kevin.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Let's go to Jeremy.
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
Hi, Jeremy.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, you were talking about those local branches. Where's the best place to send a demo?
Where do you send your demos?
Well, everybody just thinks to send it to one of the companies in New York or LA. But again, like with the other caller, Kevin was just saying. I mean, entertainment lawyers, publishers, it should go everywhere. I mean, it should go to clubs, it should go to nightclubs, it should go to concert halls. Everywhere should get they should get the press. Anything you can do to help turn people onto your music, it's important, because that starts a buzz and that starts people talking. So, don't be so fixed just on the record company, because there's other avenues, there's other angles. I mean, I'm sure Leslie can tell you, she gets, there's a lot of people that bring music to her attention. It's not just it's actually not always from the record company.
It's kind of cool, too. Sometimes you can find an ally with a rock critic in town that loves your band.
Yep, a journalist is always good. If they're on your side, they can plug away for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
This
you.
is a good question. Here, Kelly.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. My question is, how do you decide on what single to play off of an album?
A lot of times, Kelly, it's about it's up to us or it's up to the artist. Obviously, there's certain artists that have a right or something in their, a clause in their contract where they pick their own singles. But a lot of them defer to us. They'll say, we need your help. You guys know the landscape of radio and how to drive, album sales. And you also have to respect their vision of what they want. Obviously, an artist like Bruce Springsteen, who is putting out a live album.
Oh, I am so all over that.
Live, Jimmy's, your copy's coming. And there's actually an HBO special that's coming.
Yeah, we heard about that.
Bruce live in New York. So, there's a new song. There's 3 new songs on there. I think Bruce, even though he's been around and he's such an incredible, performer and writer, he's probably will ask us what we think, what direction we should go in, because he knows that we do this day in and day out, and this is something that we specialize in. But what happens is when a record's released, usually our job starts once the record's made. We'll get copies early. We can help shape the album. Again, you have to always respect the artist's integrity and what the vision they have. But we always try to work hand in hand with the artist to pick the right song, so we're all on the same page here.
You also don't want to release a song, and although let me rephrase this. It seems sometimes the record companies will pick a single off an album that in no way reflects the rest of the album. Often you get these real harsh bands that maybe have one ballad on it, and you hear that ballad. Is that because that's the way to suck people in, or and what's the?
Well, let me tell you something about the artist that Leslie was talking, Crazy Town. The song Butterfly. That was their third single. Wasn't their first single. We knew that song had a chance to be a big hit. We didn't know how big. I mean, this is it's become sort of a phenomenon.
It's huge.
It's huge, but we wanted to make sure we respected their rock base, their rock band.
So you're saying that does not reflect Butterfly. If you're going to go by that that band, that does not really reflect what the rest of their sound is like.
It's reflective, and it's part of the hybrid of who they are. It's sort of in the mix, but they are first and foremost a rock band. But this song is also getting played on rhythm radio stations too. So
really?
Yeah, it's breaking a lot of barriers.
And
but
when you bring a record into a radio station, what if there's a song on the CD that they think is a better single, that they think is a catchier tune than, let's say, the one you want them to play?
Well, that has happened before, and
Didn't that happen with Live when Sean Demery was here?
That happens a lot. We end up playing the one that we think is the better single. If we feel that strongly about it, it happened with the Cranberries. Linger.
Cranberries, right? That's what I'm saying.
The single was actually Dreams, and Sean Demery fell in love with Linger and played Linger.
That's right. And also, when the Last Train album was out, we had a song called I Am, and Leslie felt, and the station felt confident in a song called Free, which already had some market exposure. It was their first single, and they went back and did that. So our feelings at the record company was, why are we going to fight this? Why fight it?
Any airplay is good airplay.
Airplay cures all diseases. It just does. And
there's no problem.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly. There's no problem you guys can't work out if the record's being played.
It's about supporting a project. Sometimes it can't always be about just the single. You can't always go for the quick fix. Obviously, there's obvious songs. Let me tell you guys, the song you played, "Drops of Jupiter." I'll tell you a great story about that. That song was not on the album. That song was not part of the first.
This is a good story.
This is a good story. They were recording in Atlanta. They were done basically last April with Brendan, and Brendan O'Brien did a great job with them. And they submitted the album, and A to Z, it was exactly where they needed to go. But some people at the record company felt they were missing one song to sort of tie it all together, just one more. And it wasn't exactly like the big hit, but just one more element. And Pat Monahan, who's the lead singer, who's key songwriter, wrote and must have submitted about 20 songs over a 6-month period. And
she doesn't know she's on the air.
Oh, okay.
Hang on, Katie.
Oh gosh.
Hi, Katie. Anyways, so he at the last minute, he started feeling like, okay, I have to go back and write some more. I'll write some more, but I have this one last song, and it was a song that I wrote in my basement. I played it on my piano, but I think it's a little too complicated for radio. And he handed over the song, and everybody at the company just flipped out.
And that was
"Drops of Jupiter." Wow. And it just you could see this turning into this, after the demo to where it is now. They brought in Paul Buckmaster, who did all the strings. He used to do all the old Rolling Stones records, all the old Elton John records. He's one of the best string arrangers. And you know what? Brendan shaped the sound and brought in the orchestra, and it just, to me, it turned into a world-class song.
And then didn't Lord Tom Alge make
one of the Alge brothers? I think there's like 800. Simon Lord Alge.
Tom Lord Alge with our Lord Tom Alge. I don't know.
Every record.
Every record.
It was mixed by Lord Alge.
Katie?
Yes.
Talk to Lee Leipzner.
Hi,
okay.
Katie.
My question is, if you're going to pursue something, I don't want to be a musician, but I want to be involved in the music industry, work for a record company, work for a record label, a management company.
Sure.
What schooling would you suggest? Should I go get a music business degree? Should I get a music management or marketing? Or what aspect would you think would be most beneficial to study in school?
Well, that's a good question, because I think the best thing you need to do is, I studied radio, television, and film because I thought it would get me closer to the record business. It really isn't like a music school of learning. Yes, it's business, I would say, because you learn about copyrights and patents and licensing and all those kind of things. But what the best thing to do is, I started in working in a record store when I was 15. That's how I started. And I interned. I worked in the Capitol mailroom. You read a lot about some of the presidents and executives at record companies now, and they started the same way, working, volunteering, interning, starting from the ground level. And just once your foot's in the door, it's in the door. And I know that people say that all the time, but it's true. We look around. We have so many great people working at Sony that just are helping out and volunteering, and they're the future stars. I mean, they're the people that we want to look at down the road. And it's just a good thing to volunteer and just to be a part of it any way you can. The big stuff will come later, but just start. Once you're in, there's nothing like it. If you're into it, there's nothing like it.
Right.
Is it better to go into working to apply for a job at a record company with a specific idea of what you'd like to do, or with the idea that you just do anything?
I think a lot of people just come in not knowing what they want to do.
Really?
They just love record. They just love music, and
they
love the
soak
business.
it all in. I mean, you start in the mailroom, and then you're around everybody.
Because sometimes, we'll get letters. Hey, I want to work at 99X, and I'll say, okay, what do you want to do?
I wrote you that letter.
Well, I don't. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Well, you kind of have to know what you want to do.
Everybody who's applying for 9, just be Jimmy's intern.
Yeah.
Right? Right?
Yeah, that's what you want to be.
No, but I think
It's
that
easy.
they come in, Jimmy, and they don't know really what they want to do. And you go downstairs, you might want to work for Sony Classical. I don't think anybody really want. Somebody might. I don't know if they really want to work for somebody. But they get put there, and they're like, "This is great. It's sort of my temperature." Or they go, "This is boring. I want to try something new," or publicity, or somewhere else. There's so many different divisions, and believe me, they're all looking out there.
How do you get to be Lee Leipzner's assistant? Now that's a tough position.
Do you have a male assistant or a female assistant?
I just had a male assistant who just got a job as he passed the bar, and now he's an entertainment lawyer.
Excellent.
But isn't it wild? People like you said, you started working at a record store, and you probably, when you first started working at a record company, had some complete gopher job, right?
Oh, I did.
I mean, I got to believe every guy in a suit sitting in some huge office with a mahogany desk started.
How did you know that?
Am I right?
He said that a few minutes ago.
He did.
That's what he said.
No, I think that, you know what, everybody, even people like David Geffen, he started working in the mailroom. Right. I mean, there's stories after story after story, and people nowadays...
Yeah, he started working in the MALE room.
That's right. But you know what? It's about just volunteering. It's about getting your foot in the door. I promise you, people are out there just looking to hire the next wave of people, and it's the kids that come in now that work for us that are just out there who just want to be around the music. They're inspiring.
Let's take a couple of quick calls.
Okay, because we have
another. Yeah,
we got a rock and roll here. Let's see.
I'm being bumped.
Let's go to being bumped. I've been on the air for 15 minutes.
Hey, it's my show now.
What do you
right.
being bumped? Randy, see,
Yes.
It's greedy.
Hi.
Greedy record guy.
Ask a record guy.
How you doing?
Good.
Hi, Lee. Actually, my question is actually along the lines of what I guess Katie just asked.
Sure.
About working in the industry, and all the comments you were making actually, add to my question. My interest is in the career. I mean, I really want to work in the business, in the business side. But my perception has always been exactly like you guys have been explaining it. You have to start at the bottom and work your way up. And I'm at a point now in my current career that my pay scale, I can't really afford to take that step back.
Right, it's very
I
tough.
really want to get. I mean, is it possible, or is there just no way to get in without going to the bottom?
Is there any way he can go right to the top and have
What do
a
you wanna do?
six-figure
Well, I mean,
position?
I'm not saying go right to
That's
the
what
top,
he's
but,
asking.
I mean, and
Is there any
without
way-
sacrificing a lot of my, of what I have now.
What do you
Right,
do?
I think the question is, he doesn't mind starting at the bottom, being a gopher, if he can be assured a six-figure salary doing it.
Is that the question?
I think that's it.
I'm not making six figures now.
think Jerry should answer that one.
This is Barnes calling.
Randy, what are you interested in doing?
Well, I mean, A&R or even in management. I'm working on a management degree now, and I'm supposed to be graduating from Georgia State in December with a management degree. And I consider myself a pretty analytical person. I have some experience in the. I mean, I worked, like you said, I worked in a record store for about 5 years and managed a music store, and that was my perception is that the people that started at the bottom doing the setting up the POP material and coming in the stores, the interns like that. That's where you had to start.
Okay, so the question is, how does a guy who already is in the middle of a career, he's got a wife and kids, how can a guy break into the record business without, living like a pauper?
Exactly.
All right?
Well, I think, I'll use my assistant as an example. He passed the bar in California, he passed the bar in New York, and yet he was working for me, he wasn't making a lot of money, but the opportunity of working in our department and working for us, it got people talking about him. The president of our company, befriended him, and they, wanted to help him out. And it's just because he was there at the right time. He could have left. He could have left probably a year and a half ago and started, his quest for a law job. But he stayed with us, and now the right opportunity came along. You can still do both. It's not, we try to encourage people to, we're not asking everybody to go broke, and live out, live on the streets.
Just the artists.
Of course.
Yeah.
You knew that. But
It's called Napster, yeah. No, I think you can do both. You just have to creatively try to do something on the side. Whether you're volunteering your time or whatever.
And the companies are paying more now. I mean, they are paying people to come in. We're not asking everybody to, just to drop everything and work for free anymore. It's not happening like that anymore.
All right, let's take two more, and then we got to go. Let's go first to Bryant, and then we'll go to Jeff. Bryant?
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on?
I had a question about press packets. What do you recommend that we put in a press packet that would actually attract your reader? And also, if we send a press packet just to a record company, what's the best way to send it or who to send it to? Because I'm kind of under the impression that I mean, they get thrown away because there's so many, or...
What's the name of your band?
Zero Machine.
All right.
Zero Machine. I think a lot of times, we get an average of 500 packages a day at Columbia.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot, and people, the best way usually is for someone else to bring it in somehow, like we were talking about earlier, a publicist, a journalist, a lawyer, some other way, or even a radio station, somebody who really turns us on and says, hey, I have a package I'd like you to hear. Even somebody from the branch, one of the distribution branches. That's probably the best way to get someone's ear on that. As far as what you should put on it, don't ever put more than like 2 songs on a tape or a demo. It's people send us like Frampton Comes Alive type 2-box set, and you're not going to get through that.
Keep them wanting more.
Right, keep them wanting more, and put on the best. Put your best stuff first. I mean, that's really what it is, and make it minimal. It doesn't have to be this whole it doesn't have to be fireworks when the box opens up. It doesn't have to be that way. Make it minimal.
That might be kind of cool.
Yeah,
fireworks in the box.
You know what?
If you can make it
You're
a
onto
pop-up
something.
book.
Yeah, exactly. If there's sparklers in there, I'm interested.
Thanks, Brant. Thank you. One more
No
call.
problem.
One more call.
Jeff,
Yeah.
Hi.
you're on the air with Lee Leipzner.
All right. Hey, I want to know how much you have to pay to play at a venue.
How much you have to?
What do you mean? How much does it cost to rent a venue like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, a venue like the Roxy, maybe about 5,000.
Would I be on TV? This is Jeff. I'm not on TV. I'm on the radio.
That is definitely Barnes.
No, this is Jeff.
I'll tell you what. You know what? I think this sounded like my first break on 99X. That's
Yeah,
what
that
I
was
did.
it. I'm
My
on the
very first
radio.
day.
Yeah. Lee, you are so awesome to come in here and do
Jeff,
this.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thank
All
you
right,
very much.
Jeff.
Yeah.
You're on the radio. You want to say hi to anybody?
Any shout out?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hey, JCA, how's it going? Yeah, you're cool.
Okay, yeah, Jeff had a lot to say. Thank you, Jeff.
There is a band. Thank you, Jeff. I have a band that I would like you to hear and tell us what you think. This is a local band, Hot August Nights. All right, this is
yeah.
I am
Really?
managing them right now.
You are?
I am managing this band.
Okay.
And she got the way to move me, cherry. Come on, cherry, baby. All right.
Here we go.
Here we go. Tell your mama, girl, I can't stay long.
Here's what it gets good.
We've got things we've got to catch up on.
What do you think? What do you think about that?
Think of this.
Well, I'm really happy to say that thank God we've had an association with Neil Diamond on Columbia Records 25 years. So
That's right.
We'll pass. Thank you. But
Who is currently starring in Saving Silverman.
That's right.
Would you let us interview him? Could you
Sure.
get an interview with Neil
Yeah,
Diamond?
yeah.
I'm serious.
Absolutely.
Leslie, you think?
Make Jimmy's whole year.
Jimmy,
be
can
a-
I just ask you one thing? I'll get Neil to call in. Or I'll come by. Just don't play him this thing.
All right. Well,
Ladies
let's
and
see.
gentlemen, Lee Leipzner from Columbia Records.
I got to see when the next day Barnes is taking off so I can arrange for that Neil Diamond interview.
The best of the Morning X 90.